Executive orders are coming in the amount of hundreds of billions of dollars that will be reaching tens of millions of people. I have all the details and everything you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. It has been announced the Biden administration will be coming now, signing executive orders in the amount of about $373 billion. That's expected to reach about 43 million people right here in the United States. This actually may be further reaching in regards to low-income individuals, so this may actually be a pretty good thing. Remember just the other day in a separate video, I was talking about how Bernie Sanders was calling on President Biden to come forward and start following through on some of his campaign promises. We are just a couple days later, and now the president and the administration are coming out saying, hey, we're going to be doing this. This does encompass about 43 million people in the US. The Biden administration and the president have come out and talked about canceling up to starting at $10,000 of federal student loan for 43 million federal student loan borrowers. There's more about this than just canceling federal student loans. Here's what it comes down to if they canceled $10,000 per student loan borrower. There's an outstanding balance of $1.6 trillion. They want to start at $10,000 per person. It may be more, but that is the starting point. It's kind of like the starting at $10,000. That's where they are sitting right now. Well, according to the most recent reports, if they cancel $10,000 for all 43 million federal student loan borrowers, this could translate into $373 billion going forward. So that's a lot of money that they could just literally be wiping off the table, as in totally free, forgiven, just disappeared $373 billion. This $373 billion is more than the federal government has spent on the TANF temporary assistance for needy families over the last 20 years from 2000 until 2019. It's more than they've spent on that program over a 20-year period of time. That same amount of money, the $373 billion, is more than twice as much as what they have allocated over the same period from 2000 to 2019 to have low-income families and households pay for their utility bills during the hot and cold seasons, like the LI8 EAP programs. We've been calling on them to issue a 2000 stimulus check specifically focused on 50 million people, which would cost $100 billion. This could be enough money to nearly issue for 2,000 stimulus checks for 50 million people. The total amount that it costs the federal government to send out those 1,400 stimulus checks that we received a year ago for about 171 million households, which actually encompassed about 282 million people here in the US. About 85% of the people in the country received those checks last year. Guess how much that cost? It's just about $373 billion. This is a controversial topic, right? I think a lot of people who maybe have federal student loan debts are saying this is great, what a relief. And then on the other side of the spectrum, a lot of people think it's great and this could be a huge relief. This could help them out a ton. And on the other side of the spectrum, some other people are saying, I don't have federal student loan debt. What are they going to do for me? Are they going to cut me a check for 10 grand? Are they going to pay off my car? Are they going to pay off my credit cards? Are they going to send $10,000 to my mortgage or my rent in the next year? So there's a lot of pushback on this saying, what are we going to do for the rest of the people who maybe doesn't encompass the other roughly 2,090 million people here in the country. There are about 333 million people in the United States, so you encompass about 43 million or so. So there's about 290 million people here that this event couldn't even touch, right? There's this talk out there right now saying, well, are they going to come forward and pay some cards off for people, pay off mortgages, pay off other consumers' debt like credit cards? Are they going to start cutting checks to people? What are they gonna do? The likelihood of that happening is probably zero. But the deal is, this is kind of some of the pushback that's going on out there right now, which many people are saying, what are you gonna do for me? I don't have federal student loan debt. And what are you gonna do for everybody else? It might be a little bit controversial going forward, but either way, this is something that's going on out there right now. And there are also a lot of talks about how if they were to do this, essentially wipe $373 billion off the table. It's literally just disappeared. So there are many people out there saying if they actually do this, if you think inflation is hot right now, you better watch out, because inflation is going to get even hotter. It's going to get even more elevated if they were to happen to do this. But this is what the Biden administration and President Biden are saying right now, and it looks like they are exploring the ideas of doing all of this through executive order. I've seen varying opinions. Some people say, no, it can't be done through executive order. And some people say, yes, by all means, he could write off even $50,000 per person through executive order. They are saying, at a minimum, this $10,000 that they are talking and floating right now, which is highly likely, according to the administration, is likely going to be done through executive order.